Irish eyes are smiling, sure is like a morning spring. In the lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing. When Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. And when Irish eyes are smiling, sure they'll steal your heart away. Good morning, everyone. An early happy St. Patrick's Day to you. Hi, my name's Heather O'Day. I'm the music director here of the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living here in Amado, Arizona. Thank you so much for joining us online today here on YouTube and here in person at the beautiful Oasis. And without further ado, I'd like to welcome our trustee for today, Mr. Donald Green.
And a happy St. Paddy's Day to you. I should have worn my green.
Now you get a pinch.
One day a year, I'm actually Irish. So we woke up this morning and thought, gosh, it's 6 o'clock and why is it so dark outside? It must be raining or something. And we got up and went to make coffee and realized our clock in the bedroom is set to daylight savings time. Oh well, need to get up anyway. So, well, my name is Donald Green, or Donaldo Verde, and on behalf of Rev Donna Maurer and the Board of Trustees, it's my distinct pleasure to welcome you to the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, here you'll be validated, supported, and encouraged to be all that you were meant to be. Our vision statement is love in action every day and every way. And we express this by living the Declaration of Principles. On the back of your bulletin, you will find them. And if you'd be so kind to read along with me, give you a second to find them on the back. I believe there's an infinite intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligent power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. And I believe through my conscious use of this power, I'll create my life as happy, healthy, and complete. And hopefully you're experiencing that. You're happy, healthy, and complete. And so it is. So, we'd like to start out by thanking the people who helped make this a special day. Those who helped set up the chairs, the greeting tables. I believe that was Bruce and Wanda, possibly Susan. Did I miss anybody? John and Gray? Yes.
Came today to help.
Who?
Sherry came today.
Sherry came to help? Very good. We'd like to thank Gray, our video director and music director, not music director, video director, and Heather, our music director, our Reverend Donna Maurer, and of course, all of you, the attendees who are here today. Inside the bulletin, you will find the announcements on the inside on the right side. Before we do that, I'd like to mention, thus far in the pledge, our goal was 80,000, and right now we know that we're at least at 75,000, maybe even higher, but 75,000. Yes, so we're this close, and you could make up that gap. Okay, so let's see. We have pledge cards, if you haven't already filled one out, in the back over here. If you fill out a pledge, you can fill out a pledge online if you go to our website. If you don't do direct deposit, you can see Wanda for other options. Wanda, raise your hand in case they don't know who you are. Wanda? I'll just hold it. What do you think? Okay. So with that, there are your announcements. If you do have a cell phone or other device that will go off during service, please silence it at this time. Thank you, and namaste.
As above, so below, as within, so without, we are one, we are whole. Peace be to you, for you are safe. As above, so below, as within, so without, we are one, we are whole. Peace be to you, for you are safe. In the arms of God, we will find our strength. In the arms of God, we will find our care and our grace. As above, so below, as within, so without, we are one, we are whole. Peace be to you, for you are safe. Peace be to you, for you are safe.
Good morning. My name is Louise. I'm your practitioner today. I do want to remind you, if you would like prayer, you can reach out to us by email. Our phone numbers are on the back of this program. Just kind of a reminder, we're still here and we're still want to keep everybody in prayer, everybody who wants or needs prayer. So take a deep breath. Close your eyes. And allow yourself to be centered. Here in the silence is that one God, that one power, that one presence in the universe. God is all there is. Feel, listen, and know that this one life is our life now. This one life is the source of all there is, all things, all living creatures, each and every one of us. I know that it is the truth that sets us free, that releases us from all appearances of what is. I know that the divine is within, and I accept that power and presence for each and every one of us. I trust that powerful presence within each of us will do the work, and that we simply have to be open and accept the divine, the peace within us. I know that we are each divinely appointed to be here today to share in the joy of this beautiful day and this time together. I know that this service is divinely blessed and that there are blessings for Rev Donna, who inspires and teaches us with her words. And so it is. So my reading today is from 7,000 Ways to Listen by Mark Nepo. And I was sitting listening as Heather was singing and Dawn was talking, and I could hear the birds. And appropriately enough, the title of this reading is Finding Birdsong. We are never far from the need to let in beauty while we're suffering and to listen to loss and what it opens. These two things, these two ongoing tasks exercise heart, and make us resilient when we can engage them. We forever drift in and out of the miracle before us. As our eyes dilate and constrict in order to see, we are opened by love, wonder, and truth into the immediacy of all that is incomprehensible, only to wrestle with pain, loss, and obstacles that make us constrict. And during the wrestle, the miracle of life seems out of reach. Though once enduring what we're given, pain and loss open us further. This is how the human heart sees. Modern culture tells us that we are entitled to a perfect, happy life. Yet if we insist on deifying a painless life free of loss, we will only be battered by the pain and loss we are given and miss the point of the journey. Much as we'd like, we can't be happy all the time, any more than we can dilate or inhale all the time. We need to dilate and constrict, and inhale and exhale in order to live. And so the heart, mind, and soul need to open and close to the entirety of the human experience in order to make sense of things as they move through. Difficult as they are, pain, loss, and obstacles are dynamic forces of life that make us open and close. It is up to us to make sense of our lifelong conversation with them. So, to be clear, we don't have to invite pain and loss, for we can't avoid our share of them any more than we can avoid the full measure of weather. And we don't have to make gods of pain and loss either. It's the give and take between pain and wonder and the way the weather of experience shapes us that is life's journey, which, though we can deny, we can never escape it. Consider how some days we wander into a wash of birdsong and we're filled with the quiet music of the universe. But no matter how we linger, the birdsong fades and we must enter our day. Other days, the birds seem to come out of nowhere, from behind buildings or under bridges, and their song covers us with an invisible mist that reminds us life is so much more than the machinery of our tasks. But they swoop on, taking their sweet medicine with them. Either way, we are refreshed and left with the work of listening to keep the song that comes out of nowhere alive in what we do, wherever life leads us. Truth often appears to us like the song of these birds. We wander into a wash of it, and no matter how we linger, it fades. On other days, truth seems to come out of nowhere to remind us how rare it is to be here at all. Then off it goes with its refreshing medicine, and we are left with the work of keeping the song of truth alive in the days that remain. This lifelong conversation with love, wonder, and truth in counterpart with pain, loss, and obstacles is how we dilate and constrict our way into the essence of our aliveness. Namaste.
So I talk about synchronicity. The song that I chose for this portion of our service today is actually an Irish lullaby, and it's called Sleep, Sleep, Little Birds. I've been singing this one for a very, very long time, and it's an old friend. And I sing it in Gaelic, and in Gaelic it's Ainini Kodalegi. And the translation is little birds, sleep, sleep, next to the wall outside, peacefully serene, peacefully serene. The blackbird and raven go to sleep. The blackbird and crow go to sleep. The robin and lark go to sleep. And the wren and thrush go to sleep. Call Kusha klimu, kusha klimu. Karlegi, socker sasta, socker sasta. On love is unfeedoft, tegi harlach, an scherzach is an kriechen, tegi harlach, an spielach is an fieskach, tegi harlach, Andrelin is an schmielin, tegi harlach, Enili, Karlegi, Enili, Karlegi, Kusha klimu, Karlegi, socker sasta. Go Rev Mahagat.
That's so sweet. Thank you. Lovely, lovely. And I love that we're all talking about birds because it really is funny. You can hear the crow over here, and you can hear the other birds over here. And then John Lopez said that we've got these beautiful flowers here, and we had a little hummingbird that was just thought he had found heaven until he stuck his tongue in one of them and realized it was plastic. So. So anyway, it's I love us meeting out here because it is so unexpected, these little things that happen. It's just delightful. So anyway, good morning. And since St. Patrick's Day is this coming Wednesday, and by the way, it's at 6 p.m. It's the bulletin says 7. Please change it to 6 so you don't miss Heather. Because she's planned this phenomenal Irish program for the evening, and I can't wait to see what she's doing. And since, for this time of the year, we talk about the luck of the Irish. And so I chose as my topic, lucky and loved. I also poached that directly from Heather's song, I'm So Lucky and I'm Loved. She sang it last week, but I think you're going to sing it this week, aren't you? I sure am. Okay, she's going to sing it. So listen to me during this talk, and then you can put it all together with her words. But I looked up the origin of Luck of the Irish, where it came from, and probably if I'd researched it before, I wouldn't have used it. Because according to Edward T. O'Donnell, he's an associate professor of history at Holy Cross College, and he's the author of 1001 Things Everyone Should Know About Irish American History. It didn't originate in Ireland, nor did it speak necessarily to the good fortune of the Irish people. It originated in America. And O'Donnell writes, during the gold and silver rush years in the second half of the 19th century, a number of the most famous and successful miners were of Irish and Irish-American birth. Over time, this association of the Irish with mining fortunes led to the expression, luck of the Irish. But of course, and he says, of course, it carried with it a certain tone of derision, as if to say, only by sheer luck, as opposed to brains, could these fools succeed. And then I also discovered, in reading some of the things about the Irish, that clear up until the late 1950s, boarding houses in London would post in their windows, "No dogs, no Irish." So maybe the Irish aren't as lucky as we thought. But St. Patrick's Day is a fun time to celebrate the ancient spirituality of the Celtic people, because that is rich in imagination, in deep love and respect for nature, and in the connections that transcend space and time. John O'Donohue in Eternal Echoes writes, "The Celtic world was not a world of stolid fixation. It was a wild, rhythmic world where the unexpected and the unknown were constantly flowing in on human presence and perception and enlarging them." He says, when perception and culture are open to the possibility of surprise and visitation, it is more difficult for individuals to lock themselves away in mental prisons of forsaken thought and feeling. To the contemporary mind, any acknowledgement of the fairy world sounds naive. Yet, at a metaphoric level, recognition of the fairy world is recognition of the subtle presences that inhabit the interim places in experience, the edges of time and space, impenetrable to the human eye. Our clear-cut vision imprisons us. So the Celtic spirituality is open to promises and possibilities, which is our theme for the month. And Heather's song speaks so richly to that. And I love that her lyrics incorporate the basic ideas of science of mind, as well as our own spiritual vision of love in action every day, in every way. So she begins with, "I'm so lucky and I'm loved. I'm surrounded by the love of spirit." And you and I know that when we embody this love of spirit, when we claim it as our divine inheritance, then we become lovable. And that's what we send out. And that's what comes back to us. And that's the law of cause and effect. This is the basic tenet of our teaching. It's the law of divine circulation. And we can't help but feel lucky because we know without doubt that we are loved by the power and presence that created us, that flows in, around, and through us at every moment. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, tells us, "Let us start with a simple proposition that life, which is spirit or intelligence, is the sole and only creative agency in the universe. This life principle always existed and will always continue to exist. You are part of its self-expression. Therefore, the whole desire of life is to give you more life. It loves you because in creating you, it has given some part of itself to you. You are dear to life, beloved by it. In creating you, it has poured itself into you. You could not ask for greater love than this, and more love could not be given." So when we recognize how deeply that we are loved by life, by God, by the absolute, and when we recognize that this is life fulfilling itself in us, then as Heather sings, "I know the truth of who I am." We know the truth that we are unique experiences of God, of spirit, of life. And just knowing that evokes a passion for living life to its fullest. And when we are living fully, freely, then worry, doubts, and sorrow leave us because we've given them no space in our heart. In another of his books, Anam Cara, Book of Celtic Wisdom, John O'Donohue writes, "How you view your future actually shapes it. In other words, expectation helps create the future. Many of our troubles do not belong to us. They are troubles we draw upon ourselves through our gloomy attitude. And he tells about a friend who lived near a woman named Mary who had a notoriously negative outlook on everything. And his friend met her one morning and said to her, let me go back. His friend met her one morning. It was a May morning, and the sun was shining, the flowers were out, and nature looked as if it wanted to dance. And so his friend said, "God, isn't it a beautiful morning, Mary?" And she replied, "I know, sure, but what about tomorrow?" She was not able to enjoy the actual presence of beauty around her because she was already troubled by what was going to come tomorrow. And we all know people like that. Maybe we've been somebody like that, but not anymore, right? Mr. O'Donohue continues, I love this part. Troubles are not just constellations of the soul or consciousness. Frequently, they actually assume a spirit form. Perhaps there are little crowds of miseries flying along through the air. Then they look down and see you, gloomy and miserable. They imagine if they come down, they might be able to lodge for a week or a few months or even a year. And if you let your own natural shelter down, these miseries can come in and take up tenancy in different places in your mind. The longer you leave them there, the harder it will be to evict them. Natural wisdom seems to suggest that the way you are toward your life is the way your life will be toward you. To have an attitude that is compassionate and hopeful brings home to you the things you really need. So again, the Celtic traditions dovetail with our own teachings, that the way we are toward life is the way life is toward us. We may not believe in flying miseries, but we can certainly understand that it is our consciousness, our own attitudes and beliefs that we reflect back to ourselves through our life experiences. So I think that you and I are truly lucky to have this teaching. Especially now, especially during the pandemic, everything that we have been through, I think it is those of us who could carry that idea that there is more than what we can just see with our own eyes. There's another life going on that's whole, perfect, and complete. And what helps me is that I have friends who know that for me when I don't. And that's another little special thing as well. Because there have been times in my life, and times even recently, when I have forgotten who I am, when I've turned away from the source. And so to me, I see those miseries as real because I have invited them into my life, So I know they're there. But I thank God that I do have the work of Ernest Holmes to rely on. I have the power of practitioners who guide me through my downtimes. I have the power to choose to change course when I recognize that I'm missing the mark. And with all of that, I know, as you do, that we are loved by a power and presence that is always with us, with each one of us. I know that I am loved by you, and you are loved by me. You are the love in action that is the foundation of our spiritual family. Your love, support, and generosity is the glue that holds us all together. And I feel that bond of love. And so I am so truly grateful for each and every one of you. In the last verse of Heather's song, she seems to bring in some of that Celtic tradition that we've been looking at this morning. So her song goes, "Everywhere I look, there is magic to behold. Everywhere I go, there's a rainbow's end. Everywhere I turn, I feel the breath of heaven telling me it's going to be okay." Sometimes I think that in our teaching, we're a bit starchy. That was the word I came up with, because we don't talk, we tend to be a little more linear in our thinking than we possibly should be. So we don't talk very much about magic, and we don't talk about a fairy world, and we raise an eyebrow when we talk about pots of gold at the end of a rainbow. But I love the Celtic images that are portrayed by its language, and I think Heather's captured some of that in her song. There is magic to behold, or there is the response of the universe to our consciousness. Each statement to me says exactly the same thing. Yet sometimes it is the magic of the moment, the miracle of a singular event that captures my attention, and I don't want it explained in metaphysical jargon. I need it to be, as John O'Donohue says, a lovely sense of the fluent flow of presences in and out of each other. And I'm experiencing the physical world as the shoreline of an invisible world which flows underneath it and whose music reverberates upwards. Isn't that beautiful? And to me, this is the science of mind in poetry. We could just as easily say that this subjective mind is always at work beneath the surface of our conscious mind, creating those things that we ultimately call cosmic coincidences. So everywhere I look, there is the love of God in expression. Everywhere I go, there is an abundance of beauty, joy, peace, love, harmony. Everywhere I go, I feel spirit breathing through me, and I know everything will be okay. Because at the level of spirit, it already is okay. I just like the way Heather sings it. So no matter the words or images they bring up, this is the teaching of the science of mind. Dr. Ernest Holmes says the science of mind is based entirely upon the supposition that we are surrounded by a universal mind into which we think. This mind, in its original state, fills all space. It fills the space that we use in the universe. It is in us as well as outside of us. And as we think into this universal mind, we set a law in motion which is creative and which contains within itself a limitless possibility. So in a nutshell, that's what we think and that's what we believe. And we know that it is what we think and what we believe that we become. So what that is up to each one of us by right of free choice. So we can choose to believe that I am lucky, that each one of us is lucky, and each one of us is loved. We are all surrounded by that love of spirit as it expresses in and through us. And I just want to give a shout out to Heather for the music that she's been giving to us that is just absolutely incredible. She is a teacher through her songs. And I don't think that we can have anything more beautiful than that. And I want to thank her, too, for letting me use one of her songs to play with today. And I'm closing with an Irish blessing for all of us this morning. May you have all the happiness and luck that life can hold. And at the end of your rainbows, may you find a pot of gold. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you. So with that, we're going to get the acoustic version of I'm So Lucky and I'm Loved. And a few of you were clapping and singing along last week. Thank you so much. Feel free to do it again. I'm so lucky and I'm loved. I am so lucky and I'm loved. I am so lucky and I'm loved. I'm surrounded by the love of spirit. I know the truth of who I am. I live with passion every day. I can be free from worry, doubts, or sorrow. I am love in action everywhere. I am so lucky and I'm loved. I am so lucky and I'm loved. I am so lucky surrounded by the love of Spirit. I am the force and joy is my source. I am willing and worthy to be all I can be. I'm the expression of creation on earth. I am love in action every way. Here we go. I'm so lucky and I'm loved. I'm so lucky and I'm loved. I'm so lucky and I'm loved. I'm surrounded by the love of Spirit. Everywhere I look, there is magic to behold. Everywhere I go, there's the rainbows, and everywhere I turn, I feel the breath of heaven telling me it's gonna be okay, okay. Come on, I'm so lucky and I'm loved. I'm so lucky and I'm loved. I'm so lucky and I'm loved. I'm surrounded by the love of Spirit. I'm surrounded by the love of Spirit. I'm surrounded by the love of Spirit. Yeah. Thank you. Namaste.
So it's time for our offering and our offering affirmation. If you're out there on our YouTube world, we have at the bottom of the video, there is a little place to donate. So if you would do that for us, it would be not only helpful, but we were grateful because it not only helps our center, but it goes out into the community in a variety of ways. So, thank you. And for everybody now, our offering affirmation. Ready? My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is. Again, thank you so very much. We don't take an offering, but there is a container at the entrance for your gifts. So thank you too. And so let's just take a moment to close this service out in prayer. Sometimes just looking around here, I feel like we're already prayed out, you know? And there's a little teens of snow left on the mountaintop. So, and here we are in shirt sleeves, most of us, or many of us. So, life is good. Life is good. And let's just take that moment to affirm that life is good, because life is God in expression. And we know that the attributes of God are love, truth, beauty, joy, harmony, peace, abundance. And by divine inheritance, all of those attributes are automatically ours. So we turn to those attributes this day and declare that we are that expression. We are love in action as we go forward to see those beautiful little mystical experiences, to look beyond the veil and to know that there is a world that is just waiting to be noticed, waiting to be brought forth, and waiting to be loved. I speak my word for anyone who's experiencing any kind of a challenge, and declare that that healing power of God is right where that challenge is. Again, I give thanks to be a part of this beautiful spiritual community and to know that we are indeed deeply blessed, as we say together, and so it is. Thank you so much.